Hey guys, it's Bro You Whack, and I want to make a short little update video on the situation when it comes to competitive open queue currently in the arcade and also just like regular queue. So as you guys might not be aware of, open queue is competitive mode currently in the arcade, which does not have any role queue but does have hero bans. And there was just a developer update that gave us two major updates on what's going to be happening when it comes to that competitive mode. It is going to be ending, however, in the middle of June. Open queue is going to be returning very temporarily. Like, I don't know how long it's gonna be, but it's gonna be a short season. And then after that competitive season in June, in July, what Blizzard plans to do is to make open queue a permanent competitive mode in Overwatch. What they're gonna do is in the competitive tab, they're not only gonna have role queue, but alongside that, open queue. Now, lots of people were calling for open queue to be a permanent mode because they absolutely hated the idea of 2-2-2, or they hated the idea of role queue. Maybe it's because of the fact that there is a 2-2-2 log composition, but a lot of the time it was because they hated the DPS queue times. A lot of tank and a lot of support players, I kind of doubted that they hated role queue, or at least hated the queue times, because the queue times were very short for them. And so then here comes open queue, which got rid of not only 2-2-2, but really the role queue times, and a lot of the time you saw people praising this game mode because not only was this the old competitive mode, but this also means that you could play DPS without the DPS queue times. And of course, there were also some other benefits, like if you wanted to flex on to, say, a Mercy, but then flex on to like a Devo, or then switch on to a specific DPS hero, you could do that, and you weren't just locked onto one role. That's also another benefit that I didn't really get into whenever it came to my discussion of open queue being a permanent competitive mode, because really what I want to focus on was the idea of queue times, and if this was actually going to hurt Overwatch as a whole. And my argument was, now not only do you not have enough people queuing up for a regular role queue competitive game, but now you're taking people away from that queue and throwing them into a new competitive playlist, and who's to say that other game modes won't suffer, like quick play or other arcade game modes. But Jeff Kaplan did lay that argument to rest, because he did say that they have statistics that show the queue times actually got better for all the other game modes when open queue was a permanent part or a temporary part of Overwatch. Which, if that's the case, then okay, then let's have open queue as a permanent game mode in Overwatch, because that was really my biggest problem and the main reason why I didn't want to have it. But I do want to warn you guys of what is probably going to come about open queue being a permanent competitive mode. Now that open queue is going to be a permanent game mode, you're going to see a lot of people not be civil, because that's exactly how competitive was way back in the day when there wasn't a role queue. And the whole idea of open queue being a competitive mode permanently now is so that DPS players can play DPS heroes, which is a good thing. But that's what's gonna happen, is that you're gonna have more DPS players in your game. If you're perfectly okay with that, then the rest of this isn't probably gonna scare you, but you probably won't have a lot of people willing to switch onto tank and support. Why would they do that when they can just go play a much more organized game in role queue competitive? So this is where you're gonna see a lot more DPS players just brawling it out with other DPS players. That might be a really good thing, but for a support main and a tank main, that could be a nightmare, because now they're the only tank and they don't have a healer because now they have 5 DPS players. But you can't get mad at them for that, because they didn't want to wait in the DPS queue time. They want to play DPS now, and they don't want to play in quick play. They want to play in competitive, and if it's not that, you're going to see a lot more people being toxic and telling someone to switch onto a specific hero. Especially if they have their profile public, you're going to see a lot more people saying, hey, you're a Mercy one trick, quit playing DPS and go play Mercy. Hey, you only play Reinhardt, we need a shield, you got to get off of Genji. So if you're okay with all that happening, then okay, open queue is gonna be an okay time. And I sound like a negative Nancy, but I just want you guys to remember why we wanted role queue, and it's to move away from that toxicity. What role queue does is have an organized experience where more people are civil, whether they like it or not. The only drawback or the only con with that system is that you have to wait for that organized experience. And a lot of people don't want to wait because they really want to play DPS. Well, now they have a game mode that's kind of more or less built for them. Yes, there are going to be tank and support mains that go into this game mode, but I really do think that's going to be few and far between. You're going to see a lot more triple and quadruple DPS games, which if you're for and okay with, then okay. Just don't get mad at those players for not switching on to a different hero. Again, I might sound like a negative Nancy. I'm not trying to come off as that, but I just feel like this is going to be a situation where 5 to 10 months down the road, there's going to be a forum post of someone crying saying, people aren't being civil in open queue. Well, no crap, Sherlock. That's the whole idea of it, is that this isn't a game that's supposed to be taken serious. If you want to have that serious organized experience, then go play role queue. But anyway, guys, please let me know what you think about open queue now being a permanent competitive mode in July. Just gotta really tell you guys that's not gonna be permanent right away. For me, I'm kind of indifferent, but the beautiful part about this is that I don't have to play open queue if I don't want to. If I want to have that organized experience that I always plead that we need in Overwatch, then I can just go play role queue. And if this is gonna help the DPS queue times in role queue, then overall this is a good decision. I just really don't want to see that stupid forum post in a couple of months because people are being toxic in open queue. But anyway, guys, I love you guys. Thank you guys for watching, and thank you, Blizzard, for listening to the Overwatch community, because this is the result of so many DPS players not liking the role queue system and then making a compromise, which I'm all for. Compromises are good. But I love you guys. Thank you guys for watching. More Overwatch videos to come, and bye.